This is the last episode of the series On the Road in New Orleans. Our trip began well before daylight with Nicholasville, Kentucky in our rearview mirror. It took approximately 12 hours or so to reach New Orleans. But first we have to stop at Buc-ee's. Check out the snacks. After a few other stops along the way, we finally crossed Lake Pontchartrain, which is an estuary of brackish water. It covers 630 square miles with an average depth of only 12 to 14 feet. The Pontchartrain Bridge is 24 miles in length and in good conditions. Driving the speed limit takes just under a half hour to cross. We eventually find our hotel, Bourbon Orleans. It is an expensive place, but it puts us in the heart of the French Quarter. Lodging in the quarter can be very costly, but I would recommend spending at least a couple of nights there so you can enjoy the nightlife and don't have to worry about driving to your hotel, if you can afford it. After a couple of nights in the French Quarter, you may consider relocating to the Garden District where lodging is less expensive. Finding a parking spot can be a challenge, especially if you arrive in one of those large dually pickup trucks. Good luck with street parking that thing. Fortunately, we had valet parking at both hotels that we stayed at. I would recommend public transportation or Uber to get around town. For me, the traffic was a bit challenging, and I wasn't even the one driving. If you're a first-timer like me, I would recommend to book some tours. We took a swamp tour.
They built one as well.
On this stop of our New Orleans adventure, we are at Oak Alley. Cemetery tours. And a riverboat tour. It was all well worth it, and they do the driving. One of the things I found real interesting in Louisiana, they have drive-through daiquiri stores. It's just like going to Dairy Queen and getting a blizzard. How can they do this legally? It's called a loophole in the law. The lid has a piece of tape over it and you're given a straw, while the lid must remain intact while in the vehicle. This makes it considered a closed container. During your visit, make sure you have good walking shoes and are ready to get in your 10,000 plus steps a day. Jackson Square is a must with street vendors, various acts and entertainment, and it sure makes for good people watching. It was October, Halloween was in full swing. The Boo Crew Parade was great, and the nightlife was, well, let's take a look. It was very interesting, nothing like Moorhead, Kentucky. Following a parade the next morning, there's always a major cleanup project. The next day, following the parade, we check out Mardi Gras World. That for me was a must-see during our visit. Mardi Gras World is where many floats and mannequins are created for the various parades. So I've included a few pieces of trivia here that I picked up. The floats have solid rubber tires. Can't stop a parade to change a flat tire. They have restrooms on these floats. No pee stops in a parade. The standard parade float is about 30 feet long and 17 feet tall, and it can carry 50 people. Many of the mannequins are repurposed. This Clint Eastwood sample that you're looking at was the statue of David in a previous parade. A lot of the residents go all out with Halloween decorations, as you can see here. Unfortunately, there is a considerable amount of homelessness in New Orleans. After 2 nights in the French Quarter, we relocated to the Hotel Avenue Plaza, located in the Garden District. This was part of the hotel where the pool was. I have to admit, I have no idea who designed this statue, but I found it amusing. This is without a doubt the coolest ice cream cooler I have ever seen. And why is detergent under lock and key? So many questions. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Oh, where to eat. I highly recommend another cracked egg for the best breakfast by far that I had. And if you like a place for seafood and lots of other choice, Mother's is the place I would recommend. The seafood platter extra extra was exceptional. And they do not accept reservations, nor do they have a dress code. As for the Commander's Palace, it's a bit more hoity-toity of a place. There is a dress code and reservations are required. We didn't eat there. The New Orleans Vampire Cafe is an interesting place to visit in the French Quarter where mixed drinks are served in blood bags. Before you asked, no, I didn't. I had shrimp and grits with a Dr. Pepper. The Dr. Pepper was good. When in New Orleans, you absolutely have to try out the Café du Monde and have one of their legendary beignets. It's a square, puffy donut covered in white powdered sugar. It is good, and I don't regret getting one. But in my opinion, it's definitely not a Krispy Kreme donut. The Riverwalk Mall offers a nice view of the Mississippi River and commercial ships and barges while sitting in the shade sipping a tall, cool hurricane. There is so much to do and see, so plan your trip well in advance. And this wraps up New Orleans on the Road with Larry Dixon. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share. Larry Dixon is on the road.